Today, I'm going to share with you some strategies that you can use if you want to write a book that grows your speaking business.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a woman of God, and I am a trendsetter. I help authors, speakers, and coaches stand out as subject matter authorities on their topic and in their industry. And I do this by helping them to write and self-publish a best-selling book, and then I teach them how to turn their book into programs, courses, and premium price coaching communities.
Now, I will say this because in my industry, I have come across, met a lot of published authors. And I will say that just because you've published a book, it doesn't mean that that book is going to position you for additional opportunities. It doesn't mean that it's going to position you for speaking opportunities. It doesn't mean that it's going to position you for coaching clients or anything like that. Your book has to be written strategically. So I'm going to get into what that looks like. Okay. Number one, you need to write your book based on your framework. You need to write your book based on your framework. So your framework is like your signature sauce. It's your signature secret, how you've been able to either help yourself, help your organization, or help clients, right? Achieve an outcome. It's your signature system. So if you look, and here's the thing, a lot of high achievers never sit down to think about or to consider how they do the thing. They're just so head down into doing the thing where it's like you know it like the back of your hand. But if you take some time to analyze and assess your processes, you will realize that there are certain things that you do. There's a routine that you do it very strategically that aids you in getting and obtaining the results and outcomes that you achieve. Well, those core steps that you take to repeatedly obtain those results and outcomes, you have to package that into a 3 or 4 part system called a framework. And what you do is you make sure that you write your book based on your framework. This way, you're positioning your book to solve a problem instead of only telling your story. Okay? And when you write your book based on your framework, then you'll actually be able to structure you'll be able to structure your book, or even structure your book based off of a keynote, or even structure a keynote based off of a book, because you know the course strategies that you're going to teach. You have stories and real life examples to pull from. You have tips and strategies to give. It makes this process extremely easy. Okay. And also, when structuring or framing your book around a framework, you now have a structure to it as well. Because your framework, you got to look at it like a sandwich. Your framework is the meat. That's the core part. That's what's going to help people get results. And the meat goes inside of a bun. So I think about it as like the top bun is your introduction or your opener. The meat of the sandwich is your framework, your strategies, your signature system. And the bottom piece of the bun, that's the closing. And so that's how you have to think about a book. That's how you have to think about a signature talk as well. Oftentimes people think that the book and the talk are separate, instead of realizing that it truly goes hand in hand. Because once you write a thought leadership book, you're going to need to talk about your book if you want to expand your brand, if you want to build awareness, if you want to expand visibility, right? And for those of you all who are already speaking, and if you want to capitalize on your speaking opportunities financially, you're going to need books, because books will allow you to, number one, generate income for organizations that may not have a speaking budget. They oftentimes have some type of learning and development or book budget. You can still get paid. And even when you are getting paid from your proposals, you can always bundle in books to get paid more. I have clients that have made upwards of $3,000 or $4,000 additional in addition to their keynote or their training just because they had books. I have clients that have spoken for free, but they've been able to sell 400 books in a bulk order and still generate $8,000 to $10,000 for an hour of their time. So not having a book is really positioning you to, like, you're putting yourself in a position where you're decreasing your income. And right now, especially given the economic and political climate that we're in, you want things in your business that can recession proof your business. And having a book is the key to that, especially when you know how to position it correctly. Okay. Having your book, having a thought leadership book, positions you above the rest because it's truly proof that you know your stuff. And I'm going to say this, especially with AI out there, because there are a lot of people talking about, oh, you can use AI or chat GPT to write your book. I know how to use AI very well. It's going to sound AI-ish. Chat GPT will give wrong information. It will give you trademarked information. It will give you trademarked information that's been trademarked or even copywritten by other people. It's going to have gaps. It lacks story. It lacks the personalization, and it lacks the humanness and the depth of knowledge. It can give surface level information, but it cannot provide depth of knowledge, which is what you provide when you write your book. Okay. The second tip, when you want to write a book that's growing your speaking business, is to make sure that you solve one specific problem for one specific audience. One specific problem for one specific audience. We're not putting our entire life story into a book. We're not putting our whole entire professional career into a book. We're not doing that. We're not writing. This isn't a memoir. This is a tool to expand your brand, to amplify your income, to make massive impact. So this means you need to focus on the one problem, one outcome for one audience. How does this relate to your speaking business? Because speakers get booked because they bring clarity, they bring value. Yes, it's a form of entertainment, but you also, because you're able to identify the outcome of your talk. Okay. And again, you'll be able to use your book to showcase your framework or your system. Okay. Tip number 3, if you want to write your book to grow your speaking business, use your book as a conversation starter. Your book is the beginning, not the end. You leverage your book as a conversation starter, not as a conclusion. Okay. So again, we're not just writing to share information about ourselves. We're not writing to share about all of the experiences and injustices that we faced. We're not writing because it's some type of lofty goal or because it's some type of lofty idea that we've had and it's this childhood dream. Not in the thought leadership space. We are not writing just to share. When you want to write a book that's growing your speaking business, this means that you are intentionally writing, like before you even begin, before you even write a single word, you're writing your content with the intention to lead your readers into workshops. You're writing your content with the intention to lead your readers into speaking topics, into speaking engagements. You're writing with the intention of generating media conversations. You're writing with the intention of gaining coaching clients. This means that you have to be proactive, not reactive. You have to think about the end goal of your book before you write a single word. Now, does this mean that if you've already written a book or if you're already writing a book that it's too late? No, it's not too late. But do know that if you have not implemented some of these marketing strategies and messaging strategies that I've shared with you, and just even focus and targeting strategies, there are going to have to be some adjustments and some pivots that you make on the back end. But there might have to be some lifting that you do on the back end in terms of marketing and automation systems that you may have to do on the back end that could have been handled had you had certain elements in place on the front end with your book. Okay. Like when people read your book, they need to know that there's a next step to working with you. And it should provide value. but also leave them wanting more. Have you ever read anybody's book before and then afterwards you're like, "Oh my gosh, that was so good. Let me go look them up online. Let me see if I can find their LinkedIn. Let me see if I can find their YouTube or their Instagram. Let me see what else I can find. Let me see if I can find their website." I've done it before. Read books that were absolutely amazing, where I immediately either went and looked for other books by that same author, or I went to Facebook or I Googled their name to see what else they had, to see if there was, any way that I could interact with them and get to know them on a different level. Your book should be a funnel for you and for your business. Okay. So I'm going to go over these again. Okay. 3 tips to write a book that grows your speaking business. Number 1, write your book based on your signature system or your framework. And you can use this framework to write your book, to create your signature talk, to sell your signature talk and communicate the value, and more. Number 2, make sure that your book solves one specific problem for one specific audience, because that's what your speaking should do as well. A lot of speakers are not attaining success because you're trying to speak on too many topics. You have about 15 topics that you speak on, and you are a master of none. What you absolutely need to do instead is to focus in on one core topic based on your framework, and you make the adjustment to that talk through your examples and your stories based on the audience. So the title of the talk never changes. The stories that you share, the examples that you provide, the tips and strategies that you provide will be modified based on your audience. But in order to do that, you need a framework. You need a signature system. And that's how you can become a highly impactful and highly paid speaker without having 15 and 20 talks and you're burning yourself out at both ends of the candle by trying to sell all of them. One specific problem for one specific audience, and you use your framework to do that. And number 3, use your book as a conversation starter and not as a conclusion. So listen, if this resonated with you and you are ready to turn your message, to turn your expertise into a book and use it to build a speaking and coaching business, I have 2 powerful ways to help you. The first way is the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit. Now, 7-Figure Bestseller Summit is a 1-day in-person event to help you package your message into a best-selling book. Okay. Now, this is going to take place Saturday, July 12th in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. It is in person or only. The wait list is up right now. Tickets officially go on sale on April 15th. But if you're on the wait list, you get early bird access to the tickets 48 hours before they're available to the general public. Okay. So what you can do, you can go to jasminewomack.com/7FBS waitlist, or you can just drop waitlist in the comments, and then me and my team will come in and give you the link. All right. That is the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit, Saturday, July 12th. We only have 100 seats in the building. The wait list gets access to early bird tickets, and tickets go on sale on April 15th. The wait list will get access to the tickets 48 hours before they're on sale to the general public. So if you want the best deal or the opportunity to get the best deal, I'll say that, make sure you join the wait list. The other way that you can work with me this month is through the Write Your Book, Skyrocket Your Coaching Business Workshop. Now, this is a virtual workshop to help you write a book and grow your coaching business. And if you're interested, you can secure a seat by going to jasminewomack.com/skyrocket. We start the Write Your Book, Skyrocket Your Coaching Business Workshop on Monday, April 21st. Okay. I think it's the 21st. I'll double check that date, but I believe it's the 21st. Okay. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'm headed out to have some spring break fun with my son, but you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all soon.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a wife, a mother, I'm a woman of God, and I am a trendsetter. I help authors, speakers, and coaches stand out as subject matter authorities on their topic and in their industry. And I do this by helping them to write and self-publish a best-selling book, and then I teach them how to turn their book into programs, courses, and premium price coaching communities.